Greetings and salutations, this is Rick. I do hope you're having a great day. Today we're in the van doing some modifications. Right, we're sat in the van and you've probably heard me go on and on about this design of kitchen unit for my van. I still think this is the best design I've ever done. I love these big open shelves. They make life so much easier when interacting with it, rather than sort of digging around inside cupboards that have doors on them. There's no doors to get in the way, and it's just worked out really well for me. However, for quite a while now I've been pondering an oven, and just recently I've taken the plunge, decided to get an oven. I just think it will open up a whole new scope of culinary options when cooking in the van if I have an oven. And there are certain things that I definitely want to cook, like just simple things like sweet potatoes or baked potatoes or whatever, and I can do those with an oven. Otherwise it's really difficult to do. Anyway, so I'm going to be installing an oven. Now that does mean I'm going to be sacrificing this shelf because the oven is going to go here. But the beauty of it is the oven has two hobs on the top. So I'm going to be swapping out this hob and sink arrangement for a separate twin hob and a separate sink, which is going to go there. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. There are going to be a few tweaks needed. For example, I'm going to have to lower this shelf probably down to about there in order to get the right height on the hobs at the top. And there's a few other tweaks that I might make whilst I'm doing it. For example, this panel here is a bit of a white elephant, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's handy having the this is the controller for the diesel heater, and it's handy having it here, but I'm not keen on it being flush with the side of the work surface. It would be better set back in. So I may reconsider that while I've got everything apart. You can see behind there, hopefully, the arrangement. Obviously I've got this 12 volt cigarette lighter socket as well. Obviously that's going to need some depth behind it, but I may just shift it or move it. Obviously I've got to move the switches as well for the lighting and for the power switch for this. So I'm going to have a little thing, some little tweaks in order to make this work. Plus also all the lighting that I installed in these little alcoves. These little strip self-adhesive LEDs, they're not very sticky. They actually lose their stick after a while. So I'm going to have to look into new ways of sticking those. So that's just not a problem. Now I will also have a little bit of problem solving to do, because the waste for the sink, although it's there at the moment, it might be moved over a little bit further when I install the new sink. But the waste pipe comes down here. Now this is going to be within the footprint of the oven, so I'm going to have to relocate that pipe, and I don't think it's going to be that easy. First things first, I've got to get this work surface off, get everything disconnected, and that's going to take a bit of time. Now I'm hoping I will be able to salvage this bit of work surface, because it runs right up to the edge of where the cooker's going to be. So I'm hoping I might be able to salvage it. I might not. I might just be it might just be that little bit too small, so I may have to look into a new work surface. I'm not going to be able to salvage this because the new sink's going to go here, and then obviously the edge of the cooker. I'm going to need to get a new work surface piece in there. I don't know. These are little things that I'm going to have to suss out as I go along. But anyway, that's my plan for today, and I will keep you updated throughout this video with the progress of how it's all going, and hopefully at the end of the video we'll see the finished result. So wish me luck, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so so far we've removed the old hob and sink, and now I've got a much better view of what's going on. Now I did actually forget that I needed to cut out these profiles in order to fit the sink across here, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about that. I do have 2 points on which the new surface can balance, and this won't be visible because I'm presuming it won't be visible because the cooker will be filling this gap. So I may just live with it. I've got the same here. I had to cut out a profile in the upright just to fit the edge of the hob there. Again, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's intact at the front here, and it's 2 anchor points for the work surface, same here, so I think we'll be fine. So, dilemma. The cooker is just perched there in place. It's a great fit. I've got plenty of room behind here, so I'm going to be able to use that pipe in the same position, so that'll be fine. In fact, I can even bring this further forward. So I've sat it there now. Question, do I leave it at that height and have a separate work surface on either side and just have this poking up a little bit, or do I lower it down and lose a chunk of that shelf? At which point, do I turn that into 2 shelves or just 1? I'm thinking, I'm leaning towards lowering it down, not fully but a lot, so that perhaps the cooker will stick out about that much from the top. I think that'll be okay, and then obviously have the work surface either side like that, and then like that, and then hopefully I can save some of this shelf space, so I can, you know, this will probably move down to there, and then I'll have 2 shelves, but then that means standing on my head to get anything in under that shelf. I'm gonna have to go away and have a think. Okay, it's a little bit dark, hopefully you can see me okay. Right, so what I've done is I've lowered this shelf, and this is the original shelf that was still in there, and this is just lowered down to, once the work surface is on there, it's going to be almost flush, but it's just going to be a little bit proud. Yeah, so I think pretty much this is what we're going to go with. Good morning, it's the next day, and as you can see, I've got a couple of work surfaces already sorted out. Now it just so happens I had a large length of this furniture board stuck in my shed, and it's in good condition, and so I just chopped it up to the sizes I needed. I even managed to get some edging strip on there, which is really neat, and looks great. I even put some on this extra leaf, and it's made all the difference. So I didn't actually need to order any new work surfaces. I could use the material I got, so it saved a bit of money. One slight mistake I made, I installed a batten under here. I'll show you. I put this batten in, and when I initially put the batten in, I put 2 long-ish screws in there just to hold it on the wall, and unfortunately I wasn't planning ahead or thinking ahead, and on my shower reservoir I actually ended up sticking a hole in it, so I'm going to have to repair that somehow. I'm pretty sure I can melt a little bit of plastic into that, maybe shave it off from the top here, and then just melt it into that hole, and hopefully I'll do a repair on it. Right then, so we're making a bit of progress now. I've managed to install this guard, which the sink's going to go in here, and this is just basically going to keep the sink away from, or the sink gubbins away from the rest of the storage area. I've also managed to salvage the electrics, so I've installed the electrics there, and also the heater controls can still go there, and they're going to be sunk underneath the work surface. Here is the work surface, and it's going to go sort of about there. Obviously when I actually... Right, making more progress. I've managed to get most of the lighting done now, and I've stuck it on a little switch just there. So if I pop that light switch on, there we go. So we've got, this shelf is lit, this one is lit. I've got a new light under here now, which was never lit in before. All 3 of these are lit, and I've got 2 of these lights waiting to go underneath the countertop. I shall have one going across here and one going there. I did look at putting a light in there, but because this is so shiny, it was actually reflecting back at me, so I thought that would be too bright. So I'll have one above and one heading off to the back. So that's it, we're finished, job done. The oven is now plumbed in, we've got all the gas connected up, Everything is fine and working. Got the sink working, got the water going, and the sink drains down there nicely. And of course the oven, which is the whole reason why I built this. And if I put you there and I turn this thing and press this button, there you go, we've got ourselves a working oven flame. So I'm really happy it's all working. And I had this thing fully up to temperature yesterday, and to start with, it set off my carbon monoxide detector. Let's turn that off, I don't actually need that on. Yeah, I fired that up, and within about a minute my carbon monoxide detector went off, and it was a bit of a worrying moment, but it turns out it was just burning off all of the, you know, the coatings, the oily coatings and things that they use to preserve the metalwork. And so I just left this running for about half an hour on full blast on everything. It got very hot in here as well. Obviously kept all the doors open, and then I shut the doors, let it continue firing up, and the carbon monoxide detector was back on 0, and all's good in the world. So it works, it's safe, obviously it's fastened down. The only downside I've got at the moment is it's a little bit rattly while I'm driving along. So what I've been doing is stuffing tea towels into the rattly bits, and I've obviously got the tray and the oven shelf and everything. So I'm just wrapping those up in tea towels, putting them back in the oven, and that's taking care of any rattles, so that's all good. So I'm glad I managed to get the tap where it is, so it's out of the way. So when the side door is open, the sort of the edge of the door is about here, so that's nicely tucked out of the way. I'm also glad I managed to get the sink that way. Originally I planned to do the sink that way, but it just kind of made sense to do it this way. You know, it was the right size, and it just gave me that little bit extra work surface, because obviously if I've got the door open and I'm sort of in and out all the time, I'm not going to be leaving that up, so that'll be out of the way. But I've still got a reasonable bit of workspace there and a nice bit there, and I even managed to bring this up to a slightly shiny condition just by rubbing it over with a little bit of cutting compound that you normally use on a car paintwork, and so it's given it a little bit of a shine, so it actually looks quite nice. We've got a drawer, finally made a drawer, which is basically on the same kind of drawer runners as this, which is push to shut or push to lock, and this is a drawer, and it was just made up of some spare bits of furniture board cut to size. And this is the front bit was part of the old work surface that I had before I replaced them with these, and I've just lined it with a bit of felt. I just had a spare bit of felt lying around just to stop things rattling around. Obviously you know, this hard wood, if it has things on it, you get all this horrible noise, so hopefully shouldn't get a lot of noise from it. And just got another little tray. This is the old stationary drawer set that I used to have down there. I can't put it down there anymore because I've got the lips along the bottom now, but it acts as just a little knickknacks tray that sits quite comfortably under there. So it's all worked out rather well. So as you can see, I've already moved in. I've still got plenty of space in the shelves. If I want to you know, add any you know, food or anything, I've got plenty of storage space to put it. And so I also generally keep you know, at least a few tins in the van, you know, just sort of full time. Tins of fish and things tend to survive pretty well, and they last a long time. So if I, you know, just happen to be out and about on the road and need a snack, I've always got something. And there we go. So that is the conversion over to the from the cooker to the oven. I'm very happy at the moment. Obviously I need to go out and use it, and I'm hoping to do that very soon, and no doubt I will make another video while I do and let you know how I get on with it. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.